I'm Chris. Welcome back, subscribers and returning viewers. A special welcome to all new viewers. I'm here at what I call the Pavilion, my first pop-up gallery. I installed 4 photographs here, cyanotypes. I printed myself, the negatives and the prints themselves. You can see the last vestiges of the cyanotype here and in some of the deeper shadows. This is pretty standard bleaching for a cyanotype. Apparently, even when they're faded this poorly, you can reestablish them by just putting them back in the dark. So what I'm going to do, I like all of this. I like it a lot. And since this was the first of this series, I'm going to take this out and I'm going to frame it this way. Since it is mine, I think I'm entitled to do that. I estimate about 100,000 people have been through this section of the park, and this photograph remains. The other 3 have been taken. I don't know why. Does that mean they were better? Does that mean the wind took them? It's quite windy here, as you can see. Or does it mean somebody started a fire with them, warmed their souls? In any event, this one remains. Coincidentally, it's also the subject of today's episode, time. This is a long exposure taken about 6 months ago on the river, a fallen cottonwood at what I call a sacred grove on a little islet up the river here. A child of the fallen tree, a limb in the same shape, exactly the same, only different. Separate, but together. The flow of time. You've probably heard a photograph speaks 1,000 words. Or maybe the unsubstantiated extension of that saying, a photograph tells a story. I don't think a photograph tells a story. I think a photograph solicits, maintains, or provokes an emotion. Photographs, they're extensions of an ancient art form developed who knows when, possibly in a cave, possibly etched on a stone or a stick. We don't know exactly when, but we do know it's ancient. I've said often that photography is the language of light. But more specifically, what I really mean is, it's the language of the light that strikes your brain first. And by brain, I mean your retinas and your optic nerve. These are extensions of your brain. They are, in fact, your embryonic brain. To wit, an image, not unlike the others here, survives, but it denotes time. More than half of us live in cities now. The other half feed the cities, making things, using things, getting more stuff to make more things, leaving little space to slow down. Modern life feeds on your time. You're a cog. Many look for an escape, a means to fly the cage. Movement is a critical feature of life. It is a crucial element of art. Actual or illusion, it takes time to create and to interact with art. What do you do when you interact with art or create art? You slow down, right? Time can be altered, at least in your perception. Your mind is a hardwired time machine. Well, the goal today was to illustrate long exposure landscape. And cut. That did not happen. as you can see. Unfortunately, I plunged myself, a mirrorless body, and my favorite lens into the river while I was investigating Flotsam. Shame on me. However, it did provide me with the opportunity to introduce my very first sponsor. Bag O rice. Not just any rice. Jasmine rice. It'll leave your photographic equipment smelling nutty fresh. An essential component to any serious photographer's kit. Now, back to our feature. I did manage to recover myself, not the camera body. I did, however, manage to incorporate my smartphone with my new DJI Mic Mini and cover myself photographing not only that beautiful red maple with that dappled water, but on the other side of the island, I managed to capture a rather mundane group of geese lined up on a log, made special by a long exposure. Let's have a look. Long exposure is probably the best technique to represent the passage of time as the human mind comprehends it. You think about it, time exposure, long exposure, has its roots back in Impressionism. Think of Turner, especially his later work. That dreamlike quality, mixing of pastel tones. The French Impressionists, the Canadian and American Impressionists picked this up later. The technique requires patience, planning, and two vital elements: a moving element and a stationary element. So I'm here, for the sake of continuity, back at the fallen sacred cottonwood, and I'm waiting for these geese to come and line up on this log. To be honest, it's not working out well here today, at least not right now. In any event, yesterday I went to the Cornwall Akwesasne powwow. If you've never been to a powwow before, it's a ceremony First Nations conduct. Every reserve pretty much has their own powwow. There's a circuit. It's gone through many iterations over the centuries, but today, really, what the powwow symbolizes is community, family, respect, and tradition. As I've already showed you, portrait photography combines well with long exposure, especially if there's intention and planning. That's why I went to the powwow. I wanted to get a ritual, long exposure. My aim was a jingle dancer. A jingle dancer specifically because their technique, that dance, their feet never leave the ground. It's intriguing. Now, of course, at a powwow, there are certain rules, certain expectations, shall we say. You can't film or photograph everything you see. There are only certain things that are permissible. And so, with that in mind, let me show you some of these long exposures.